and turning that off. And here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome into another episode of The Rippily Show, where we are live, we are here, and most importantly, everybody, we are functioning today. Now, listen, last week, we didn't just launch a show, we launched a full-blown tech adventure. That's what we did here. There were moments where things froze, things echoed a little bit. So, I think at one point I might have disappeared. I know maybe some other people might have as well. But you know what? That's actually kind of perfect, because if you were here with us, you didn't just watch a show, you experienced what it really looks like to build something in real time. And that's what Rippily is all about. It is not about polished perfection. It's creativity in motion. It's figuring things out together, sometimes with things that may or may not be working. But here we showed up, you showed up, and we created something anyway. And today we're taking everything we've learned, everything we've tested, everything we survived, and we're turning it into something even better. So whether you're here in the room with us, watching from the gallery, or watching the replay, you are part of this ripple. You are part of the ripple effect here. And trust me, we are just getting started. So let's dive in. And I would love everybody to please welcome our fearless leader here on Rippily. We have Claudio Perrone here today. Good morning, Claudio.
Hello. Fearless, you could say that.
That's what we're going with. That's the narrative that we're going with here today. We're coming off of a pretty exciting time here on Rippily, because we just had a pretty major event over the last couple of days.
That is right. Sententia was a sponsor for that conference, and they really took a big bet on a platform that is so young. But they launched a conference that lasted 48 hours. No interruptions. Basically, it was one speaker after the next one. Definitely put the server, like a big strain on resources. But basically, I succeeded where other platforms did not. So, like, it was pretty cool. We had some minor kind of issues, but it was overall like a really great milestone.
It's exciting. It's exciting. And we knew there was some stuff going on, because even at one point, I think they were taking people on a little adventure. Yesterday, I saw people hanging out in some of the different, example spaces that we have on Ripley. So I was watching this kind of field trip happen in real time, which was fun to see.
Yeah, I mean, there were 260 registrations across basically 48 hours all over the globe. And so there was a presentation by actually, two of our, very well-known community, members who, like Julie and Frank, who did a really nice presentation about creating, community using this kind of virtual spaces. And so they did show, basically they sent a link to every room that they were going to showcase. And so you would have all those fun things, right? People playing tic-tac-toe while they were speaking. I would have I would have waited to send the link before having people playing with that, but That was funny because Tic-Tac-Toe, for example, Christoph, I don't know if he's here today, but he sent me a message saying, is there something going on? Because everybody's coming to my space and the phone, we had webhooks attached, so you would know who's joining your community. And he literally called me, I think it was 11:30 in the evening. For him, maybe 12:30, and his phone was pum, 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 pum. And so I said, it's all right, it's all good. Don't worry about it.
That's so fun though, because you do have webhooks set up for us. So even when we are not here, we have the ability to set up a little doorbell, if you will, that can let us know when people are coming into our space. So that is kind of a fun thing when we're not even online. And suddenly we're having ding dong, who are all these visitors and where did they come from? And it's an exciting thing to see on the receiving end of that.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure Christoph was like, what in the world's happening?
Yeah, and I talked to a lot of people in that conference. They are most of them are instructional designers. They do a lot of gamification. This conference was called GamiCon. It happens once a year, and there was a real buzz about this platform and possibilities, because these are people who are really like experts in creating gamified experience, and so they saw the possibilities. And in fact, basically the decision maker basically said to me, lots of people talk to me, they want to talk to you, we'll talk soon, I'll send you the invitations. And I said, well, give me at least 24 hours because I need to sleep. I was there like awake, for 48 hours, like, thinking, oh gosh, is it something going to break here? But everything went really well. It was fun.
Yeah. Love that. I love it. Well, one of the things that we talked about last time and for our premiere episode is we had just launched a brand new feature, which is super exciting, which is our celebration feature, which you're seeing being showcased right now here on the Rippily Show. And we can do confetti and we can do different emojis. And I thought it was appropriate here on the Rippily Show that we had some bubbles since we're under the sea down
like
here.
those.
You will. So we love the bubbles. But so is there any other announcements, anything big that's been going on in the creation side of Rippily?
Well, this morning actually took I analyzed a lot of the logs from the conference specifically, did a lot of performance improvements. There are things that you can only really there are some load testing to test like performance when a lot of people join in, but there's nothing like the real world, real life experience that really helps to further improve things. So I did a lot of performance improvement. In terms of features, I'm working right now. I guess everybody knows, right? I'm working on the payments because, Christmas only lasts for so long. So we've been like in beta for quite a few months, and the time of reckoning is upon us.
Yeah.
And so I'm really trying to really define, the pricing plans and a lot of other things that are related to that. And so it turns out there's a lot of we move from beta testing where you have unlimited everything, you just push everything, to create limits. And that led me to think about the different kinds of conversations that we had within the community. And we led me to realize there are basically two different types of creators. I don't know if it's something you want to explore here, but
yeah, I think that's one of the things that we wanted to talk about today, because there are different roles that we play here on Rippily, whether it's hosting an event, building an event, or building a room. And then we kind of have, there's the user side of things too, which is really interesting. As I had a great conversation with one of our mutual friends saying yesterday about that, and, being on sort of the guest or the contributor side also. So what have you discovered about sort of, let's talk about the difference between a host and a builder?
Yeah, so I mean, at the core, the point being is that Rippily is something where we try to grow communities that come alive. Hope it's clear. That's really central. Like the community aspect is central. That led to observations and features as well that are leading to, say, discoverability, right? Where you can discover other communities. So you're not creating just your own garden, but you're actually creating something, or your own little home. You're creating something that then becomes available, visible to others, that they can come, explore, learn about this. And so even today, like we had a conversation of actually saying, well, all this discoverability is going to be a problem because maybe it looks like a social network like Facebook. And I was thinking,
Right.
no, think more about Spotify, where in Spotify basically is not interrupting you, is helping you discover what you're looking for, what
Mm,
it is for you. So I think that kind of mindset needs to be fairly clear, right? Because I'm taking very opinionated decisions based on those principles of actually saying we need to discover each other because we
right.
all grow, and we all benefit from that network exposure. But
Right.
having said that, I think the discussions that emerged weren't so much about pricing. It was more about, or at least the discussion was about pricing, was more about these different kinds of creators. And right now, as you just mentioned, I identified at least two types of creators. You have the builders and you have the hosts.
Mm,
Hosts are the ones who create events and bring people in. They may or may not be skillful in building rooms.
mm,
It's not their primary concern. I'm not saying that it's not a concern, and I'm not saying that there aren't people who are very skillful on both, right? But on the other hand, you have the builders, okay? And the builders are the ones who like to live in the designer, create different rooms, add a lot of interactivity. And of course, like Rippily does both. I feel more like a builder, to be honest, who
mm,
happen to be a host, right? But I really like that kind of enjoyment where the room in itself, it is an enjoyment. However, I came to this conclusion that a type of platform, a visual platform like Rippy,
mhm.
thrives for communities, and communities are not built through rooms. Communities are built through interactions by
Right.
people.
Right.
So in a way, you could say we need hosts, and indeed we do. Okay, but the problem is not to say we don't need builders. We absolutely need builders because hosts do need builders, but we need to have kind of to be successful. I think we need a kind of a nice balance. And on top of my mind, I would say that's probably like 20% builders, 80% hosts. That would actually make the platform and everybody else extremely successful. What happens though is, like, a lot of us have been trained to build tons of rooms, including
Mm,
now in this phase, right? We create a lot of
right.
rooms, no limit and whatever. And then we complain if, and I don't want to say everything is based on money or whatever, but we complain that we're not successful if if we don't make money because of
Right.
that. Or if we, and to me, the problem is, this is a problem, for example, like a platform like Zoom, which is about transactional communication, right? It's really people enter and exit. There's no permanency to that. This is not about, establishing a community. I want to create something that is more than calls, more than chats, something we can call a home. Okay.
Right.
And in order to do that, that's the problem, right? If we build all these rooms, but then they become the empty castle, then
Mm,
that's a problem. So in Zoom, you don't have an empty castle. You don't have this kind of
right.
problem, right? Because later you either have the connection or you don't.
Right.
But with something like Ripply and similar platforms, that's the issue, right? You go to a place and you just visit it. You're not inhabiting it. Well, inhabit
Right.
it, right? That's actually the term. And so that's the part where, I think as a community we need to think hard. We need
Mm,
to think hard and be a lot more intentional on what we create.
right. Right.
So certain limits that are going to come, in a way, I don't want to say, everything is good or whatever, but in a way, there are definitely technical limitations. But I also hope that it leads to a much more intentional design from all of us.
Mm. I agree, and I think also, one of our audience members, Debbie, was talking about how she feels like she's both. She's both the builder and an event host, and that's something that I can relate to myself, even in running my network outside of our conversation here on Ripley. It's also like I have built this sort of framework and this space where people can come in and be a host, but there's a very different role between being a producer of something and hosting. And I think one of the skills that we can all tend to a little bit better is if you do fulfill more than one role, if you enjoy that building process and you're skilled in that, but you are also a host. One of the things, and I came up against this just yesterday, is being able to take yourself out of that role for a moment mentally and look at things from the user standpoint, and look at things from the host standpoint, and look at things from the builder standpoint. Being able to compartmentalize what each of those roles entails, I think, is not only important, but it's very helpful in going back and designing what are these spaces going to look like, what are they for, and how are we going to best, as you said, inhabit those spaces.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I'm talking about roles, and obviously roles, people have different roles, right? And they can wear different roles. I'm not saying that one is exclusively a
Right.
builder or one is exclusively an host, but it's different. It's definitely two kind of mindsets. And and I want to attend the needs of both, just to be clear, right?
Mm.
So a builder would probably need an emerging marketplace, right? So you could build stuff for others, for example, if you wish to do so. And host needs a good way to either build it themselves or actually maybe ask a builder to build it. And so like I think a very healthy ecosystem will have features that attend the needs for both. So, but there
Right.
is this kind of tension that I want to just to highlight, I guess.
Right.
Is a
Right.
problem.
It's smart, I think, to do, and we'll definitely continue to have conversations about this as the platform goes public and more people find out about it. I think more of these conversations will be necessary, and important to have, because, like I said, it doesn't just help from the perspective of Ripley; it helps really in your overall business too, and how you operate and lead different spaces. So, anything else that you want to share with our fabulous audience today, Claudio?
I don't think I have new features. I mean, nothing notable. It's usually it's the little things that you add, and then you discover suddenly you say, "Oh, this is such an improvement in
Yeah.
life." But it's just like again, like to think back about how we want to position Rippily, what makes Rippily different, right? And we already talked about the fact that it's very different from like a platform like Zoom, right? And
Right.
but also, I would also like to go back, and I talked about that to some people, some participants at the conference yesterday. Returning to this idea that social is broken,
Mm,
right? And so I put my hacker's hat and say, well, let's fix it, right?
yes.
That's the idea, right? Because I don't know, like I've been misled to think that technology would bring us closer,
Mm,
right? And yesterday, someone said, I didn't realize it. And she was saying, coming to a conference like that, where we had Ripley and all that kind of stuff, I felt like for a moment, I wasn't alone.
mm,
But I never felt I was alone. It's something I just realized now. That was a interesting insight to me. Like it was like because we've been even with you, Jessica, like we've been together like quite a bit at this point, right?
yeah.
And there's never for a moment a feel that, oh, we are alone in this world, isolated, even
Right.
if we stay like in our own houses, right? And that's something that almost we take for granted, or
Mm,
we risk taking for granted. I don't take it for granted, but it's something that if you think about how social networks evolved, right, or how um, again, a Zoom call, just there are video calls that end and leave nothing behind, right? They start and they end, that's it. And I don't know, there's a real difference between communities that we create here and as opposed to communities that are held together through notifications or through, scrolling, a TikTok feed or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's very, very different.
It's a different world than scrolling and seeing someone on social media give an update and coming on to Rippily and popping into Peggy's office or Debbie's office or Ollie's room or anybody's spaces and like hi, even if it's just a moment, just hey, how are you doing, good to see you today, I just want to check in and see that you're good. It is this face-to-face interaction that I think is so important, or even voice-to-voice interaction that is so important. And I will continue to stand by that. This is what is going to bring the life back into social media. One of my favorite things to do, the first thing I do every morning when I get up, I come on to Rippily. First of all, to keep my streak, boys and girls.
Yes.
My streak is very important to me because you do have streaks come up of how many times you've logged in a row. I'm a little bit of a brat in that way, but so I got to have my streak. But also, I love right before I go into my office, I head over to Friends and I see where everybody's at. And I don't even have to necessarily stop in and say something. But as I'm heading to my office, I think, look at all these amazing people that are also in their offices or in meetings. And it makes the world feel a little bit smaller. It makes us feel like we're all connected and closer together than maybe we are actually in the world. We could be thousands of miles apart, but it makes us feel closer together. And so I just love that discoverability part of Rippily, where we can just see each other. We don't even necessarily have to see each other or have a conversation. And I love it. It's my favorite thing. All right, Claudio, we are going to, we appreciate the updates and we appreciate your thoughts on being a host versus being a builder. And I know, like I said, that we'll have more conversations about it. So we're going to catch you next time, and we appreciate you being here. All right, you guys, I am very excited because we have another poll for you today. Are you guys ready? Let me know in the chat if you are ready to participate in our poll today. Do we have a couple readies happening here? Yes, everybody is ready to go. Here we go. How are you, or will you use our new celebration feature? Now you can pick more than one choice. Our choices there are birthdays, holidays, meetings, special events, every day for everything, or I don't like to celebrate. And I don't think that anybody here in the audience is going to click that last option, but we will find out. And while you're doing and participating in the poll, I am very excited because my friend and the founder of the Global Business Plaza is back with us here today. And she'll be on the show right after this. All right, Peggy McCartha's here, everybody. Yes.
All right. I'm always so excited about Tuesdays now have something very exciting for me.
Yes. I love it too. It's starting to become very quickly one of my favorite parts of the week, and getting to plan. And look at all of our beautiful people in our studio audience today. Everybody's having a good time. One of my favorite things also, and I want you to know, Peggy, that this was said to me behind the scenes yesterday, how much fun people have with the way that you hype up our studio audience before we come on the show.
When you said you were doing the Rippily Show, and I didn't wait to be asked. I was like, can I do the pre-show? Like, you don't even have to have me on the show. Can I do the pre-show? So yay.
It's been so fun. And I'm really excited because we have so much that's been happening behind the scenes. Obviously, you and I have had the chance to, see a little bit about how things are being built behind the scenes. But we also, I think, both you and I are pretty well connected to what people are doing in the community, also. And so we're going to talk about that here in a few minutes. Peggy, what was our winner for how are you? Will you use the new celebration feature? What was our poll winner?
Every day for everything.
We love that. Listen, all the confetti, all the bubbles, all the emojis. It's so fun. I can't help it. It's the first thing I do when I come in my office every day now.
Yeah, me too. It's really, well, you've seen, like, I have a water bottle that you can actually give someone, like, here, stay hydrated. Like, it's ridiculous.
By the way, speaking of that, I have to bring this up because as we talk about how people are using the celebration feature, I go to co-working with CK. By the way, Dr. Charity Campbell Capella is going to be a guest here on the Rippily Show in just a couple of weeks. You guys are going to love her if you have not met her yet. But she and I do a lot of collaborative co-working, and she put, guys, get ready for this. She put a water, a water cooler in her co-working space. And when you click on it, it sprays water everywhere, and you hear the water sound in there. And the hydration station, as saying, just reminded me, is out of bounds because I drink a lot of water, and every time somebody clicks that hydration station and I hear the water sound, guess who's got to run to the bathroom? And so, it's a hazard. It's a hazard, but it's so fun. It's so fun.
Well, and the cool thing is you can set it to where you're the only one that sees it, or everyone can see it. So I am like a fidgeter in my own room. So I have one little place that I can click if I don't want to interrupt the meeting, but I want to be fidgeting with stuff. And the rest of the things in my office, like, everybody can click and see. So it's amazing the amount of customization that you can do in Rippily.
Right. And, Mike was reminding us in the chat, I needed a choice. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And that, that's a conversation that we will continue to have here at Rippily as we talk about building and hosting and all of that. And thinking about, like I was just talking with Claudio about, what is the user experience? Taking ourselves out of the picture for a minute and going, well, I think this is cute, but is this going to translate? What happens when 30 people click in a pizza emoji button at the same time? What happens, Peggy?
Boy, we found that out, didn't we? Didn't we find that out? We had Jessica in the deep dive put a pizza, and if you clicked it, it sprayed out pizzas. Well, I don't think anybody thought about the fact there was going to be 36 people in the room and everyone was going to click the pizza for the entire time. So needless to say, that button had to go bye-bye.
Yeah, so that's the beauty of it, is Claudio has given us all of these features that enable us to hide certain things, or, if to have a little bit more of that control when things might not go how we envision them to go in our minds, because those are two different things.
I always say it's as important to know why you're building, not just how to build. Like, how to build is great, but why? Why do you, because we do things for fun, and that's a legitimate reason, like, to have fun and make us smile. That's a full sentence. Also, when we're building our businesses or we're building things for, people to have an experience, we really do need to consider what that experience is, and, why are you putting it in there? How is it going to push people forward and push them towards the ultimate goal?
Right, right. Sade mentioned in the chat design principles, and I think that that's something we'll definitely consider or continue to have conversations about here on the Rippily Show and beyond. Because it's pizza, everybody wants to click the pizza button. If there's a pizza button, it's getting clicked. So what it is. So we mentioned the celebration feature, and I know that there are some people that are using the celebration feature, and I want to share with you guys one of our amazing studio audience members today wanted to share her room, and we love this. And so going down, we have a little bit of an obsession with badges, and I take full responsibility
You
for
should
this.
take full responsibility, Jessica, because it is your doing.
Yes. Yes.
And you say it like, oh, I take full responsibility, like it's such a, no, you did this.
I did this. And so we've been passing around these badges, and it's been so fun. And one of the amazing things is that when we started passing around these badges, it does make a great little button to be able to do some of the confetti. So Artemis, one of our amazing hosts and builders here on Rippily, and she's also in our studio audience today. She did her confetti here coming out of, and I think we have the thumbs up and the pepper. I love that we can use different emojis and completely customize our confetti.
That's awesome.
It's so good. It's so good. So the other thing that I wanted to show you guys today is that we do this deep dive every Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. And this last week we did I demonstrated how to make these little buttons. And as you can see on my screen here, what's really interesting is that this panel that you see over to the left is actually only seen by moderators of the room. So you can almost make a little, panel, or what else could we call this? Almost, I know a lot of you guys out there use you guys use Stream Decks. This is kind of like an internal Stream Deck, if you will, that we created on Saturday. And so your audience can't actually see these buttons on the left, but everybody can use the ones at the bottom. And we showed it as ways to change scenes, and we showed you could play music, and you can do confetti. And then we had the audience panel, which enables you to give our actors some flowers, some applause. We're throwing tomatoes. I know somebody out there put potatoes in there, and I was like, thank God this is not real. We can't. That's the good news about being on Rippily. You can't take somebody's eye out, everybody.
You just somebody's eye out.
So that's what we did there on Saturday, and it was super exciting to see everybody put that together. And I can't wait to see what everybody is doing with it. So if you are on Rippily and you have done something fun and amazing with the celebration feature, please send a link or a screenshot to my private messages over on Rippily. You can find me as just at Jessica, and I would love to showcase it next week on the show. Peggy, it's time for the ocean report. Are you ready?
I'm always ready.
All right. So the ocean report, one of the amazing things look at my 46-day streak there, everybody. I just have to point that out to everybody in the audience. I'm so proud of it. I'm always prepared. Like if something happens, I've told my family, please log me on and make sure that I get my streak. So Claudio has made for us this amazing discovery tab. And by the way, for everybody that might come on to Rippily another time, you can go over to that discovery tab and be able to click the banner to get right to join us in the gallery for the Rippily Show every single Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern time. So just FYI, that is at the top of the discovery tab. I also love that we have what's happening right now. And you can see we're all hanging out here in Ripley Central for the Ripley Show. And then you go down, and again, you have all of these amazing communities to explore. Several pages. Go explore what different people are building here. But I know that we want to talk about some of the amazing things that are happening here. And you just implemented from the Global Business Plaza, you have an amazing event that's happening monthly.
We do. The second Tuesday of every month, we have Voices of the Plaza, the business conversation. And it is a panel style conversation where we highlight 4 of our shopkeepers, 4 of our business owners that are part of the Global Business Plaza. And then we go into breakout rooms, and you get to, in a small group, talk to each one of the panelists and kind of get to know them more, find out what they're doing. And that's every second Tuesday of the month, except for June and December. Why don't we have it on June and December? Because that is the expo. The second Tuesday of June and the second Tuesday of December is our big Global Business Expo. And we have been doing expos. This will be our 9th expo. If you have a business and you want to showcase your business, come find me. Yeah, come right in there. Come right in there. Click on that first one that says Mission Control and fill out an application, and listen to the cool video, fill out an application. And there'll be even more stuff in there as time goes by. But yes, so please, please, please. And you don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, I don't know if I have. We'll get you ready. You have a business, you come showcase it, because we love to highlight businesses and that is my goal in life, is to empower people to make money. I love it. I love it.
Yes, I love it too. And you know, we're seeing that even more. I think people in general have been so inspired by this platform that it has been a real easy task to sort of transition into this space of like, how can we really make more money? How can we impact the lives of people on a bigger scale? And when a platform like this has provided us with all of this inspiration, it just becomes easier and easier to have those conversations.
Exactly. I love it.
It's amazing. I'm so excited. And you guys can go check out when you go to Discoverability, you'll see the Global Business Expo there. Go check out information, get plugged in. And I especially love, like you said, Peggy, that you're going to be providing people with a way to get plugged in if they're sitting back going, well, I don't know you guys, and I've never been on Rippily, and what is this? And all of those questions that they'll naturally have, you're going to be providing the spaces for them to jump in and make it easy for them, right?
Yes, and Rippily is our biggest sponsor, and you don't even have to have a paid Rippily account to be an exhibitor. And the expo, I didn't mention this before, so if you didn't know, there is no financial fee to be an exhibitor or to attend the expos. What we do ask is that you promote the heck out of it and bring all of your people, because the more people that come, the more people that has eyes on all of the other businesses. So yeah, so come check it out. Don't let whatever is going through your mind be a roadblock. Come check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Go check that out. It's going to be, like we said, in that discovery tab over on Rippily, and you'll be able to check out everything there and find that there. I also want to share with you guys so I have my company, the Breakthrough Show Network, here on Rippily. And one of the things that I wanted to share, because this has been so much fun, is that Saturday mornings, the Breakthrough Show Network, if you don't know, is the place to be. And I realize that it is early for my friends like Peggy over on the West Coast, but I get things rolling on Saturday mornings, you guys, at 8 a.m. Eastern time for an hour and a half. I am actually a DJ over on the Station Head platform, and I play the most amazing morning vibes, wake up music for about an hour and a half on Saturday morning from 8 to 9:30. And then at 9:30 begins a gathering that is something that we are in our 10th anniversary, and it's called Soul Saturday Morning Coffee. And what occurred to me 10 years ago when I started it is that we don't intentionally create enough spaces to explore certain questions about who we are as people and how we function together. And so, like I said, we're on our 10th anniversary of Soul Saturday Morning Coffee. The doors do lock promptly at 9:35 a.m. Eastern time because we do get vulnerable in there. We do tend to share a lot of really challenging life things from time to time. And so we don't want anybody in the middle of sharing and somebody jumps in and, it throws us off completely of what we're sharing. But when you go into the Breakthrough Show Network, which again, you can find in that Discovery tab, you scroll down and you'll see the Soul Coffee Cafe. And you come in here and you can see this month, we're actually talking about courage. And courage is a big conversation, everybody. And I think that we are in a time where more and more people need to tap into courage for sure. And so come explore with us at Saturday mornings, music from 8 to 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. And then from 9:30 to 10:30, we do Soul Saturday Morning Coffee. And so I invite you to be a part of that. And come and join us. So just some of the amazing things that we have going on here on a regular basis on the Rippily platform. Anything else you can think of, Peggy, that you want to share about the what we have going on in our Rippily Ocean this week?
I mean, there are always so many things going on. So really check out that Discovery, see what's going on. If the doors are unlocked and if it's discoverable, then you're probably invited. And if you pop in and you realize you're not invited, then, it's all right. I know when people pop into our members only things, we just kind of welcome you in. We understand. Oh, somebody forgot to lock the door. Well, come join us. And most people I find are like that. So be curious and go discover what Rippily has to offer. And when
Curious.
I say Rippily, I mean the community.
Yes. Everything that there's always something going on and always somebody online. Some of us are up at the crack of dawn. Other people are online, well after I go to sleep. So I'm an early bird in the morning and at bedtime. So
well, you're an early bird and also you're 3 hours ahead of me. So like you've had a whole day before I roll out of bed.
It's true. It is true. And that's another thing that you will become very versed as you immerse yourself in a global community. You will become very versed in things like time zones, who changes time when do the clocks go forward and back. And I'm not saying I could ever store all of that in my brain, but I sure am more aware than I used to be. That's for sure. All right. Anything else you want to leave with the people today, Peggy? I know that on Saturday we have the next Rippily Dive coming up, which happens every Saturday. You can go under the Discovery tab and click on Rippily Central, and that will take you to, you have the Rippily Show there, the Rippily Dive. And on Saturdays, we usually hear announcements from Claudio, and then you can ask questions, and we go down the rabbit hole with one or more of our features in a live done with you demonstration. And starting this Saturday, we have got a 3-part series for you on, many of you have been asking for it. What are we doing, Peggy?
Variables.
Yay.
It sounds like a math problem, right? But no, variables are one of the amazing gifts that Claudio has given us to make things happen when they're supposed to. And so we're going to dive deep into that and figure out how to make your rooms even more amazing.
It's going to be so fun. I can't wait. I cannot wait. So we hope you join us Saturdays at 11:30 a.m. Eastern time. And this is what I tell everybody, because we're in this period of time where the time changes is happening for, some of our European friends. There's timeanddate.com is your friend. So put in 11:30 a.m. Eastern time and see what time it is where you are. That's my best tip for you to leave things off today. So what a fun show this has been today, from the conversations to the creativity to seeing how all of this is starting to come together. This is exactly what we mean when we say to you, this is not just a platform, it's an experience. So if you're sitting there thinking, okay, but how do I actually do all of this? How do I build one of these spaces? We've got you, because every Saturday at 11:30 a.m., we are back with the Rippily Dive. And as we mentioned, this week is the start of a 3-part series on variables. Really looking forward to that. And that thing, it might sound a little techie, a little intimidating, but I promise you, this is where things start to get really fun. This is where your rooms become interactive. This is where your ideas start responding to people. And this is where you go from hosting to truly building experiences. So if you're curious, if you've been watching, or you're ready to take what you've seen and start creating, you do not want to miss this one. And of course, we'll be right back here next Tuesday for another episode of The Rippily Show. So until then, keep building, keep experimenting, keep showing up, even when things get a little glitchy or you get kicked off and you have to refresh. And as always, come and join us on Rippily and experience what's possible. We'll see you guys next time. Bye, everybody.